Everybody, welcome back to the homestead, my sister's homestead. It is a really hot day, probably the last one. Well, I say that often. It's only the last week of August. You can see I am already sweating and it's early, but I'm going to try to improve the audio on this channel by using a lav mic more often, but I don't have it with me, so I'm going to try this anyway. A little bit of wind and keep the dogs away from me. Well, my wife's just taking them down to the pond swimming. I'm in the pasture, and the reason I'm here on a hot day like today is because we have a ton of rain coming starting tonight, and then cloud and showers over the next week or so. So even though it's hot end of the summer and not a great time to plant anything, we really need to improve this pasture. And you can see all the seeding that I did back in early July. That's come up, but it really hasn't grown much because it's a dry, hot time of the year, not ideal growing conditions. But I'm happy that any of it germinated, to be honest. And now with the rains coming and the cooler weather coming, some of it will start growing better. But it's not going to be enough to get real deep roots in the ground or vegetation above ground to add much organic material to the soil. So what I've done is I found these cheap bales of hay, half price. I'm going to spread them out on the first paddock, this 0.7 or 0.8 acre parcel. The first, call it paddock number 1, I guess, the one that we're fencing in. Going to get this carbon essentially spread out over this bare ground, really acidic, shallow soil, sandy junk that's not growing much. The animals are going to spend most of this coming year in this paddock, so I need to make sure there's enough cushion, first of all, organic material built up in carbon to absorb the impact of the hooves on the ground, so it doesn't compact, but more so to get this organic matter growing and get going and get some here we go, get some roots in the ground. They caught me, they found me. I'm going to try recording this without them right in my face and also closer to the mic and a little bit out of the wind. Let me get behind this bale. Go find Mom. All right, I'm going to try this. So soil is bare essentially right now. What I'll do first, I can't get any pasture mix, seed mix. Everybody's out right now and there's none coming in unless I order it, which would get here, but it would get here after the rain. So I'd like to get this down today. So I do have some winter rye. I'm going to spread that. And then this hay, because it was cut after a lot of the plants had matured, you can actually see mature Timothy seeds in here. A lot of this seed's actually going to be viable and will go down and then get covered with a little bit of mulch covering, and then that will absorb the moisture from all this rain and sprout likely. So we'll get some growth and seeding just from using the hay itself. So let's get into that right now before it starts raining. I see how hard it is to roll these bales out with that small tractor. Not that much seed in here, but some. right? That's it. Everything's spread. So my wife and I spread 4 bales, 4 hardcore 4x5, 4x5 bales on this at 0.7 acres. And there's bare spots. We would have used at least 1 more bale, but it's much better than if we hadn't done this. So we'll see what happens. Looks like it's about to rain. Well, probably an hour away, I would say. Heavy rain, so that hopefully that packs that down tight and we get some generation. It's basically like a big compost pile. All this carbon sitting on top of some nitrogen, some green growing plants. Lots of yarrow in here too, actually. Some clover, some vetch, and a bunch of little bit of grass and some sedge. So it can do nothing but help the pasture. Certainly not going to hurt it. And then get this fence done in the next couple of weeks, and I think she's going to get some animals on here immediately, and hopefully we can find a couple of steers or calves or something that we can put on here for a year. Anyway, it's hot. I'm going to take Kelly down to the pond for a swim and then wrap it up before the rain hits. Thanks for watching.